Well, I got my wiring all done up here, as you can tell. It's all hooked up, and tried the battery on, and my brake light is working good now. So it's not dimming. It's getting like basically here. My park light's nice and bright. Push the brakes, nice and bright. Same with the handbrake here, working good. Instrument cluster, the light comes on for the neutral, but it's not coming on though for the high and low beam. But that could be because I don't have my headlight hooked up yet. I've got the wiring, but I just don't have a bulb in there yet. I don't have the pod or the headlight assembly. It's not in. So I'm going to do that next. So hopefully that will cure my electrical issue. Oh yeah, and the bezel or whatever that is, the miles per hour indicator, there's a light in there also. I'm not sure if it's working. I'm going to have to put everything together and then maybe turn the lights on or off, and then see if it comes on. Because it's only a 60-volt bulb, right? So it's not very bright. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm going to continue here and put the whole harness and everything inside that pod, and which I have here on my bench here somewhere. There it is, right here. So I'm going to put the wiring all in here, and then of course put my bulb in, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so I got the wiring all back together, and the brake lights seem to work fine now, but I still don't have a headlight. So I'm going to have to take the headlight pod out again and see what's going on. This bike is kind of driving me a little crazy with the electrical, but I guess that's what you can expect from a bike that's been around for a long time. I mean, it's a 1977, the original wiring. But then again, look at this one, 1973, and the wiring on this thing was no problem. It was a piece of cake. But I know this one though, 77, when I did buy it, and I took started stripping the bike apart and whatnot, I noticed that the previous owner had messed around with the wiring, and he did not have an ignition switch. He didn't have a key, so he bypassed it. But it was a bit of a hack job. So anyway, gonna have to take this pod apart, the light pod, to see what's going on. I don't know if it's a ground. I don't know. Hard to say. So let's. I'm gonna take it apart right now. Okay, so I'm back to have no power again to the red and brown wire right here, which is the power supply for the switch here for the lights. So I'm thinking I'm going to take this off again, the flywheel. Take a look at the wiring there. Maybe I got another wire that's bare. I don't know. Just trying everything. It was fine before until now. So, I mean, when I say fine, I mean I tested the wire without hooking it up here, and everything was working fine with the motor running. So I'm not too sure. So anyway, to remove the flywheel, that's what we use right here. It's a reverse thread. Put an impact on this side here, and I'll pull it right out. So let's get that going. Here's the impact. Okay. Trying to do this here with one hand. So it's a reverse thread. So first, back off this part here, way out. That's what's going to press the flywheel off. See inside here? Anyway, you reverse thread. So basically counterclockwise to tighten it. Tighten it in as far as you can. There you go, just finger tight's good. Turn this here as much as it will go, right there. That's good. Take your impact. There you go, and give her a couple of shots here. Simple as that. And just pull it out. There you go. Now, the wire we're going to check is this one here. Right here. I don't know if you can see it. Kind of goes and it hooks up on the stator. I believe this one. This is where it comes from. That would be the one for the power, I guess. Charge the battery and all that stuff. This would be for the points, I believe. The condenser. That's where this one's all wired up to. Could be wrong, but anyway. So I'm going to take these two out here, these two bolts, pull this out, undo this one. This is underneath this little plate right here. It's like a retainer clip. That's where I found this wire. It was bare. I got a feeling this thing right here is cutting into the wire. It did, obviously, and I had to tape it, but maybe there's a short somewhere else. So let's take a look. Okay, you just remove this bolt right here. There you go. And you got this one. And that's it. And let's remove the retainer, because that's where I found the problem last time. Okay, and pull this back. Okay, let's take a look at the this wire right here. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing is cut. Oh, better not lose these. Got little washers on them. There you go. Okay. This could be an issue here. Let's undo the tape I put. As you can see, not sure if you can here. Let me get rid of this tape. I think I was too good at putting it on. Anyway, get you a little closer. You can tell right here and right here. You can see a bare spot right here. And this is crushed. I don't know if I've lost connection between this point and this point. So I'm going to have to strip the wire down and take a look, because I'm definitely not getting any power from that coil. Okay, I'm pretty sure I found the problem here. I don't know if I'll be able to get you guys close enough, but there, it's broken. It's only a couple of strands holding it together. So I'm going to have to cut that and solder that together. There you go. You can see right here. Hey Rachel. So I'm not too sure if you can see. Anyway, here it is right here. I got it soldered up. I'm just going to use a shrink wrap right here, put over top, and then shrink that so it's insulated, and then give it a try again. Well, I've got it all back together, so it's just a matter of putting the flywheel on here and giving it a test. But I think that's enough for today, and I'll get back to this tomorrow. Okay, so yellow wire's fixed, and I started it up, and I still have no power to my light. So as you can tell, I took everything apart. So this is the conclusion I've come to. I believe I've got the wrong ignition switch. So I did some digging. It turns out that the later models, 1977 and later, the ignition switch has only two positions, so an off and an on. The key switch I've got here has got three positions, which is the one that the, believe, 73 to 76 uses. So I think I've got the wrong one, because when I was checking the power behind the key right here, you get all your wires here with the ignition on and the engine running. I checked with my voltmeter. I had power on the reds, which is normal. I had power on the yellow and a power on the brown, but not the brown and red, which made sense to me. So when I switched it over to the third position, so that's stop, and then stop is 1, then 2 and 3. On the third position, I had power on the red, so red had power, red and white had power. The brown, the solid brown, had power, but no power on the yellow, no power on the brown red. So to me, that sounds like this switch, key switch, is the wrong one. So, not sure what I'm going to do yet. I can still use the bike, just won't have a headlight. So, I mean, you know, temporarily it's no big deal. But long-term wise, I'd like to get this fixed. I looked on eBay, and there was one, and it was up for bid, and I got outbid, and was quite surprised at how expensive it went for a used key switch for 1977. This thing went for about $60-some US, which, no, about $70-some US, which Canadian for me was over $80, and surprised. I mean, I'd put a max bid of about, I think it was 65 Canadian, and I walked away, and next thing I know, I was outbid, and it was closed, and it had gone up for over 80. So now what I'm wondering is if it's cheaper for me to change the whole wiring harness. I can get a whole new wiring harness from Dr. ATV for 73 to 76 for about $40 US. For me, that's about $52 Canadian. Brand new harness, and I can use my brand new key switch, I think. Should be able to. So, in a way, that's where it is. That's where I'm at. So I've got no other videos right now after this one for a bit until I get this key thing solved. So I'll keep you guys updated. Thanks for watching. Okay, finally, I think I found the problem. It was in the switch right here. So what was happening is that I'd start it in second position for the ignition switch, and then I would, you can't see it right now, it's too dark in there and I got some wires in the way, but anyway, you can see the back side of the switch right here, and I would start checking with a light tester to see if I had any power to the contact points right here in the back of the switch, and I would on the yellow, the red, and the red and white. And then there's a solid brown, a brown red, and a green. So you should, in second position for this model, anyway, well, with a three position switch, which means off, then second position and third position. So in second position, I had power to the red, red and white, and the yellow, which makes sense. And then what would happen is that I would switch over to the third position. I would have power to the red, red and white, the solid brown, which is your taillight. That would come on. So that's good. But then I would lose power to the yellow. And I noticed that when I would press the brakes, it would come on, but like slowly, like as if there was a draw somewhere. So it looked like I had ground, or something was going on. Something was grounding out, that like for power, which wasn't normal. So I took everything apart, totally everything, and I was still getting the same issue on the ignition switch. On the third position, the yellow would go out, and what it's supposed to do on the third position is the yellow is supposed to stay on, but give power to the brown and red, which goes here into your bucket, and the brown and red feeds power to your headlight and to your speedo display light, I guess you could say, and your high and low little indicator. So that wasn't happening. So anyway, I started taking things apart. I took my switch apart right here, and lo and behold, sure enough, I found the wire that was grounding out. And the wire that goes from here to your bucket that hooks up to the brown and red is a blue and white. And that's the one I checked, and sure enough, that was the issue. So I retaped it up, and so far so good. It's working. I just need to rewire the whole thing, but I am getting power now from the white and blue, and I'm also the power for the yellow is staying on the third position. And when I hooked and I checked with the light tester the brown and red, and there's power out of that, so I should be okay. But really, in a way, I won't know until I hook up all the wiring, so hopefully there's no other issues, and then we'll be good to go. And then we can continue on to finish tuning it up. I'll probably have to readjust the valves. I've noticed it tapping a little bit. The carburetor, I don't like the way it starts. You gotta kick this thing over quite a bit before it starts. And my old one right here, that one there, cold, put the choke on, one kick, and it starts, and then put the choke down, she's good to go. But this one here, it's a new carburetor kit, and I'm still kicking this thing over quite a bit to get it going. So I don't know if it's a fuel issue or a spark issue, but I'm going to have to dig into it a little bit more. I'm just not too pleased with it. So, but that's going to be a separate video here from the wiring one. So anyway, let's continue with this, hook everything back up, and see what happens. Well, it looks like I fixed it. Not sure if you'll be able to see it on the video, but let me if I can get the headlight, I'll rev it up a little bit. There we go. Everything works on it. The only thing I made as a mistake there is I happened to start it without the battery hooked up. It will run, but you're going to burn bulbs. And it's exactly what I did on here. I burnt the tail light. The brake light still works, so as you can tell. But the spark light's burnt out, so I've got one on order. I'm actually going to try something different. I'm going to try a 12 volt LED bulb and see what happens. Because LEDs don't care whether it's 6 volt or 12 volt. So I'm going to give it a try, see what happens. I ordered 2 of them, so if it works out, then I'll put it on the 73 also. So anyway, looks like everything is all fixed up for the electrical. It's working, so that's on the switch on the third position, and if you put it on the second position, light goes out. And that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. And if you take a look at my speedo indicator, light's on. I believe it's on low right now. If I put it on high and rev it up, you can see the green light there come on. So everything seems to be working. I'm not too sure if I've got lights inside my speedo. That I'll have to check out at night when it's darker. So because they're only 6 volt bulbs, so it's not very bright. That should be it for this video for the electrical. Thanks for watching. Here we are here. So, it's like my previous, my last video was showing that the my electrical issue had solved it, right? That the issue had been in the handle. So check all of that. You never know, right? So it turned out it was just a bare wire in the handle right here, which is where the power is sent to the headlight. But I also had mentioned that I was going to use a 12 volt LED light for my park and brake light right here, and it works. So I'll show you here. I'll get the bike running and show you how it works. Okay, I get the bike running here. So right now I just get it on the key position where the lights are not on, but I'll press the brakes and you'll see here that that they're just as bright as the 6-volt light. If not, I find a little bit better. So here's my brake lights, and here they are with the park. Not too bad. And here's the park and the brakes. And there you go. And that's in the garage right now with the door open. I haven't tried it yet in the dark, but yeah, let's give that a try right now. I'll close the garage doors and turn the lights out, and we'll see what happens. And here we are with the lights out, except for the one light that's on a timer there for the garage door. But anyway, this gives you a pretty good idea. Not too bad at all. This is at the park, and this is the brakes. And let's turn the park lights off. There you go. Brakes. Nice and bright. I like it. And also, I wasn't sure if my speedo lights were working. And they are. You can see it right there. Right on the edge right here. That they're working. So I guess this will be it for the electrical part of my video so far. Anyway, I mean, you know what, these bikes are old, and you fix them all up, you think everything's done, and it's not, right? There's always something to do on them, and that's fine. I like tinkering on these things. I guess my next one now will be to adjust the valves. I had adjusted them, but I think they're a little too tight, because I find it's hard to start when it's cold, but when it's warmed up, it starts really easy. So the carburetor's new, carburetor kit, the whole bit. My gas cap could be an issue. That's one of the things that you'll see is common on these bikes, is that the gas cap on them. What happens is that they create vacuum right here. So let's take a look and see here. No, I don't hear pressure build up, so I don't know. It's hard to say. I just know that the bike is hard to start when it's cold, and when you take it out for a ride, it seems to almost bog down. So it could be just fine adjustment on the carburetor. I won't know until I really take it out and drive it, which I haven't had a chance to do. But anyway, that pretty well wraps up this one. So I want to do a shout out to one of my YouTube viewers, Jill, and hope you enjoyed this video, Jill, and there'll be more to come. Thanks a lot, everybody.